Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss spotting errors theory part 8. Let's begin. First of all, read the index, introduction of conjunction, correlative conjunctions, parallel construction. So with this part we will discuss about introduction, correlative conjunctions and parallel construction and some specific conjunctions as well. Read the disclaimer, the images used in our slide deck are for education purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and the owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in the deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Conjunction. First of all, read the definition. A conjunction is a word which joins words, phrases, or sentences. So it is a word which joins words or more than two words, phrases, or sentences. Correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are used in pairs. These are used in pairs in order to show the relationship between the ideas expressed in different parts of the sentence. Correlative conjunction join various sentence elements that must be grammatically equal. So it must be grammatically equal. The most commonly used and correlative conjunctions are both and. Example, she is both intelligent and liberal. So here we have used a correlative conjunction which is both and. So and comes with both here. Either or is a correlative conjunction. I will either go for a picnic or take rest. Neither nor, she's neither rich nor good natured. Hardly when, he had hardly begun to work when it started raining. So all these are correlative conjunctions. There are some others. No sooner than. Then comes with no sooner. No sooner had I reached the station than the train arrived. With no sooner we use no sooner at the beginning of the sentence. In this case, we change the verb formation. We use verb before the subject as here. The subject and the verb before I. Not only but also is also a correlative conjunction. She is not only beautiful but also intelligent. Rather than, I would rather go swimming than go to the cinema. And scarcely or when. Scarcely had we left college when it started to rain. Scarcely when and no sooner than. Act same. Whether or, have you decided whether you will go there or not? Whether or refers to choice. Parallel construction. What is parallel construction? Correlative conjunctions like both and not but, not only but also, either or, first, second, third, and the like should be followed by the same grammatical construction. Thus, whenever possible, parallel construction should be employed when correlative conjunctions are used. Many violations of this rule can be corrected by rearranging the sentence. The repetition of a particular grammatical construction is often referred to a parallel construction. So what is this saying? This is saying that whenever you use correlative conjunctions, try to make parallel construction, like parallel grammatical elements with these conjunctions like both and, not only but also, either or, etc. Let's look at the example. I am neither happy nor excited. The resort contains open bars, swimming pools, and a library. In the example A, the two phrases neither happy nor excited show parallel construction. So as you can see, happy and excited are adjectives and they are accurately put here and making a parallel construction. If you put a noun in place of excited, it becomes unparalleled. These three phrases, open bars, swimming pools, and a library, also show parallel construction. Because open bars, swimming pools, and a library are acting as an object of the verb contain, and these three are objects. Parallel construction. Correlative conjunctions and parallel constructions. Parallel constructions should always be employed when correlative conjunctions are used. In the following example, the correlative conjunctions are printed in bold type. She has both a good education and she has good work habits, which is incorrect. She has both a good education and good work habits. So here you can see that we have used she has both a good education and she has good work habits. Here we have used a noun phrase, a good education, and here we have used a clause. But this is incorrect because before and we have used a phrase and before after and we have used a clause. This is incorrect. To correct the sentence, we will write like this: she has both a good education, a noun phrase, and a noun phrase again, good work habits. It is correct. In the examples, both and are followed by different grammatical constructions. So it is an incorrect sentence. Both is followed by the phrase a good education, whereas and is followed by the clause and he has good work habits. The example has been corrected by changing the clause he has good work habits into the phrase good work habits. The same I told you. Some specific conjunctions. There are some specific conjunctions like no, not, never, with or, however and but, though, although, even though, until, unless, as, when, while, as if, as though, because, as, since. So let's talk about no, not, never with or. So it comes with or. Use or but not nor with nor, no, never in a sentence if a alternative conjunction is needed. So we are saying that with no, not, never, use or always, not nor. I have no chair or stool. So here we have used or with no. I have never read about her or heard of her. Again, with the negative word never, we have used or. She does not speak or weep. Again, with not, we have used or. So it comes in pair. He did not say or write anything. Again, however and but. However and but should never be used together in a sentence. So do not use however and but together in a sentence because both the conjunctions express the same meaning. But his behavior, however, has not changed, which is incorrect because you have used but and however together. His behavior, however, has not changed. This is correct. But that, however, is not repairable, which is incorrect. But that is not repairable, which is correct. So do not use however and but together. Though, although, even though. Though, although, and even though are used to show a contrast between two clauses. Yet not but is used with though although. So do not use but with though although, use yet to make a pair. Our new neighbors are quite nice. This is good. Though their two dogs bark all day long. This is not good. We can use though or although with no difference in meaning, but though is more common than although in conversation or writing. So you can use though although. It has no difference, but though is more common. Though, but not although can come at the end of the sentence. My new bike is really fast. I don't like the color though. So you can use though at the end of the sentence, but not although. Though, but not although can also be used as an adverb. I am not good at reasoning, but I can help you with your geography, though if you want. So here we have used though as an adverb. The meaning of though is similar to however. So these are two similar. But though is much more common than however in conversation. Even though can be used to make the contrast between two clauses stronger. So if you use even though instead of though and although, it makes the meaning very stronger. My father got back from work really late, even though he had promised to take mom to the cinema. So surprising is being expressed. Although he is poor, yet he is honest. Here we have used yet, but not but with although. Yet comes with although. Although, though he is poor, he is honest. Until and unless. Until is used in reference to time, while unless refers to a condition. Most of the time, Students commit mistake while using until and unless. So in this slide, we will discuss until and unless and its uses. Until is used in reference to time, while unless it refers to condition. I will stay here until you return. He can't succeed unless he works hard. So here, you return refers to time. That's why we have used until. And he works hard is the condition. As, when, while. We can use as, when, or while in situations or actions that take place simultaneously. Note the following points. We can use any of these words to introduce a longer background action or situation which is or was going on when something else also happens or happened. So two different events, one is in background and another one took place in between. As I was walking down the street, I saw Jack driving a jeep. So walking was in background and seeing Jack was an interrupting one. The telephone always rings when you are having a bath. Again, while they were playing cards, somebody broke into the house. Again, the one action is an interrupting one, and the another one was in background. So the background action was playing, and breaking into is an interrupting one. As, when, and while clauses can be used at the beginning or end of the sentence, but as clauses usually comes at the beginning. So use as at the beginning. A continuous tense is usually used for the longer background action or situation, like was, walking, are, having, were, playing. But as and while can be used with a simple tense, especially with a verb like sit, lie, or grow, which refers to a continuous action or state. So we usually use continuous tenses for the longer background actions. But we can also use simple tense with verb like sit, lie, or grow. Example, as I sat reading the paper, the door burst open. As, when, while. We use while to say that two longer actions or situations went on at the same time. We can use continuous or simple tenses. While you were reading the paper, I was watching TV. Two simultaneous events. John cleared the house while I was TV. As is used with simple tenses to talk about two situations which grow or change together. As he gets older, he gets more liberal. So we are talking about the change here. When is used to refer to ages and periods of life. When I was a child, we wore half pants. So we are talking about the ages and periods of life. Not as while I was child. So we can't use as and while in this situation. His father died when he was 14, not while he was 14. As is used to denote two short actions or events happened at the same time. As I opened my eyes, I heard a loud noise. So as means as soon as here. She always arrives just as I start work. Again, it is acting as soon as if, as though. As if and as though means the same. We use them to say what a situation seems like. We use as if and as though for the supposition. It looks as if as though it's going to rain. So in informal English, we use like instead of these two. It looks like it is going to rain. So instead of using like, use as if and as though in formal standard English. I felt as though I was dying. She was acting as though she was the owner. Actually, she is not the owner, but we are supposing. We can use a past tense with the present meaning after as if as though. This shows that a comparison is unreal. She looks as if she is rich. Perhaps she is rich. He behaves as if he owned the palace, but he does not own it. So we are talking about unreality. He talks as if he was rich, but he is not. So we have used past tense here. He orders me as if I were his servant, but I am not. So using past tense with as if and as though refers to unreal situations. We use past perfect after as if as though when referring to a real or imaginary action in the past. She talks about New York as if she had been there itself. He seemed as though he had not had a nice meal for many days. It means appears. Because as since. Because as and since are used to answer the question why. So it answers the question why. They join two clauses in the same sentence. I lost my job because I was often late. So this is the cause of losing the job. Ram resigned because he wanted to spend more time with his family. Because as and since shows the relationship between the two clauses. Why did you resign from such a well paid job, Ram? Because I wanted to spend more time with my family. So this is the answer. It shows the relation between two clauses. Because is more common than as and since when the reason is the most important thing. The because clause is usually placed after the main clause. So use because after the main clause. I went to Chennai for a holiday last October because I knew it would be warm and sunny every day I was there. So we have used a because clause after the main clause. I went to Chennai for a holiday. Because I knew it would be warm, it is a subordinate clause and we have used it after the main clause. Because as and since are used when the reason is already well known and or less important. The as or since clause often comes at the beginning of the sentence and is separated from the main clause by a comma. So look at the sentence. As my family had finished dinner when I got home, I went to this really good beer bar. I am telling you about the beer bar. It is not so important why I went there. So that's why we have used as clause at the beginning of the sentence. And one more thing you need to know, we use as and since when things are already known. Since it's your birthday, I'll make breakfast for you. I'm going to make your breakfast, I know, and you know it's your birthday. This is not a new information, it is an old one. Since I have money, I can't go to the movie. I hope you've understood the session. Till then, thank you.